Amy here from the Stamping Tree, here to show you a video on how I did my project for our Vinyl University blog crawl at FCCB. I chose to use the Thanksgiving word art from Word Collage cartridge, and what I've done is I sized it at 11 inches and then I hid the words that I didn't want in each color. So for example, this is my gold vinyl layer. I'm going to show you how it looks. So that's how it's going to cut. Here's the dark brown layer, and that's what's going to cut out of there. The burgundy, and then the orange. So I'm just going to cut out the leaves and the pumpkin pie. And then the dark green, we're just going to have turkey dinner and fall. I just wanted to use the orange and the dark green as kind of accent colors. So here's how I've laid out the vinyl on my mats. This is going to be my gold layer. That's the layer I chose to do most of my words in. So I've just used my whole 12 by 12 piece on there. Here's my burgundy layer, and the piece I had wasn't quite wide enough to cut it out all in one piece, so I cut a strip for the word pilgrims up here, and then I moved this over a little bit so it would have room to cut the rest of the words. Here's my dark brown layer. Again, I had a 12 by 12 piece, so I just used the whole thing, and I will cut it to avoid waste. Here's my orange accent pieces. I've measured and cut the vinyl and laid it out on the mat where it's going to cut. And here's my dark green, and I just realized I put it down in the wrong orientation, so I'm going to have to fix that before we cut. But that's how I've laid the vinyl out, and in a minute here I'll be ready to start cutting. So I have my gold vinyl laid out on my mat. My gold layer is the first one I'm going to cut. I use a blade depth of 2, a pressure of 2, and a speed of 3 in order to make a kiss cut on my vinyl. That will make it so that it will cut through the vinyl but not through the adhesive backing, which will make it much easier to weed and apply your vinyl. Okay, I've already got my settings loaded into my Gypsy, so I'm just going to press cut and OK. Okay, so my machine is finished cutting the gold layer. I'm going to unload my mat. And I don't know if you can see where the words have been cut, but that's how it looks. And now I will weed the vinyl. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to weed the vinyl. It's really very easy. I'd leave the vinyl pieces on my mat because that holds everything in place quite nicely. I use my weeding tool, which comes in the Cricut accessories kit. I must have dropped mine at one point. It has a little hook on it, but that actually makes it easier to weed the vinyl. I can just hook that little hook in the corner and start peeling up. Now, especially with some of the letters as tiny as they are, you want to be very careful not to do this slowly and to watch and make sure you're not going to peel up any letters. 11 inches high is really as small as you'd ever want to make this. Some of the letters are very tiny and they have very slender pieces, and you could make it bigger by using a 12 by 24 mat and turning the artwork on its side. This vinyl is awesome to work with. It cuts so beautifully and it weeds so easily. I just can't say enough good things about it. This is the vinyl that Cricut Vinyl Supplies gave the design team to work with on our projects. Okay, now, so here's the tough part. This is the part where you got to be careful, these tiny little letters. You also want to make sure you don't lose any dots on top of I's or J's. I had to actually recut You can see that I've finished weeding this piece. The important things to remember are to be very careful not to pull up your letters with your vinyl. I wanted to show you the other ones that I've weeded. That's going to be the main piece. That's mostly gold, and it's the largest part of the word collage art. Here's the burgundy layer, and I should just be able to put my transfer tape over this and have it fit into the other piece like a puzzle. Here's my dark brown layer. Now this is where I had some trouble with one of my words, so I had to redo a gobble. It goes down right about here. I'll wait and put this in as the last piece of the puzzle. And then here's the dark green layer. Now I want to show you the next phase of this operation is to put on the transfer tape. And transfer tape is what's going to allow you to lift the letters off the backing and then carefully place them where you want them on your project. And then you lay it down, you rub it with a tool such as a popsicle stick or a bone folder or a credit card, anything like that. And that will stick the vinyl letters to your project, and then you carefully peel off the transfer tape. So the next part of this video is going to be me showing you how to do that. Okay, so here we have our vinyl. It's been trimmed and weeded, and now we're going to put the transfer tape on. The transfer tape comes in long sheets or rolls, 12 inches wide, and it's very easy to cut to fit because it's marked in 1-inch square increments. So since this is about a 9 by 11 piece of artwork, I just cut 9 squares by 11 squares approximately. And now I'm going to show you how to put it on there. It looks like it would be hard, but it's really not. You just peel up a corner of the transfer tape and you peel off the paper backing. And then we're just going to lay it down on our artwork here. Line it up and roll it down. Okay. The next step is to make sure your letters are thoroughly stuck to the transfer tape. So you want to burnish each letter with something like a popsicle stick or a credit card or a bone folder. And what that's going to do is stick the transfer tape to the vinyl and peel the vinyl up off the backing. See? So this is the piece of wood that I'm going to be putting my vinyl onto. I got it from Michael's. I used a 40% off coupon, so I got it pretty cheap. And then I spray painted it, kind of an almond color. So now I'm going to show you how to peel the transfer tape off and line it up on the project. So I always start at a corner, and you want to make sure that each letter is thoroughly burnished on there so that it will stick to the transfer tape. It really helps if you kind of peel it off at a very sharp angle. You want to make sure you don't lose any of your little pieces or, for example, dots to your eyes. Okay. So here we have our transfer tape, and now I'm going to line it up starting at the top where I want it. First I'm going to kind of unroll it, stretch it out, and make sure that I've got it centered from top to bottom. I'm not too worried because I can always add some kind of decorative artwork up at the top or the bottom if I have too much space. Okay, so So that looks straight and centered to me. I'm going to go ahead and roll it on down. Then I'm going to smooth all the transfer tape out. And now I'm going to burnish each letter on there so that the sticky backing on the vinyl will stick to the wood and allow me to peel up the transfer tape without peeling up my letters. So it's just very important to make sure you get that really stuck down. That's my dog trying to get into the house. I'll let him in just a minute. Okay, so now I still have to do the rest of it, but I'm just going to show you how it's going to look. So you're just going to peel your tape up like that, just sort of like you did it before. Again, it helps to have a pretty sharp angle. Peel it close to your project. And there you have it, and it's really stuck down nicely. You may have to go over a few of the letters just to make sure they're completely stuck down. Okay, so you can see that I've applied my gold vinyl and it came out really pretty. I love how it came out. So next I'm going to get ready to put on the next color, which I've chosen my burgundy, and I've already peeled it off the backing on my transfer tape. So now I'm just going to line it up very carefully. Make sure I have this exactly right before I glue it down. So I'm continuing to pull my transfer tape off carefully and at an angle. Okay. And there's my burgundy layer. Okay, now I have my brown layer all ready to go. Okay, now I've placed my final word. Remember, it was the one that I messed up and had to cut out separately. I'm just going to burnish it on there. I'm going to peel it off. And there you have it.